Hi everyone, I just got back from a cruise on the Carnival Breeze, and on the first sea day when I walked into the breakfast buffet, was surprised to find that Carnival had updated menus on the Carnival Breeze. There were 3 different menus to choose from on board, which included the family line, which is essentially the Family Express breakfast buffet version. There was a Latin breakfast, and then there was a menu that was just kind of more of the generic Lido Marketplace breakfast buffet, which was also revamped to have some daily specials, as well as a few changed out items compared to the traditional breakfast buffet menus Carnival has offered for many years. Each of the breakfast buffet lines, no matter whether it was the Latin, the family menu, or the regular Lido buffet breakfast, they had a lot of similarities because you'd start off with the yogurts and the fruits and the sliced hams. And then as you got to the end of the line, where kind of the unique part of the menu was, the daily specials is really where the lines differed. The Latin breakfast tried to offer a Latin special every day. There were usually 3 or 4 options. The family menu offered 3 or 4 options, typically something like a breakfast sandwich or breakfast pizza. And then the regular, or I don't want to call it regular, but the Lido Marketplace menu, that's just kind of more of a generic breakfast. It had a today's special section, like one day it was biscuit and sausage gravy, a breakfast quesadilla, a sausage, egg, and cheddar muffin. Really, it's the end of the line where it differed. You could usually find very similar sides between the lines, although those did differ a little bit based on the day too between the lines. All 3 of the breakfast buffet options on the Carnival Breeze during my cruise, the lines were long. People seemed to be enjoying the different lines, whether it was the Latin line, the family line, or just the Lido Marketplace breakfast line. People were lining up, and it was actually really hard to get pictures on this cruise because of just how busy the line was, even when the buffet opened. One question I'm sure several are wondering is what ships have the Latin breakfast and the family menu for breakfast? And the answer is I'm actually not sure. I did ask on board about menus and was just told that these breakfast buffet menus were new, but there were no details shared about whether this is going to be a fleet-wide thing or if it's only going to be on certain ships. It's possible Carnival's just testing these out, so maybe there's still going to be some changes. But when I was on the Carnival Paradise right before the new year, there were no breakfast buffet changes there. And then the Carnival Legend in December, there weren't breakfast changes there yet at that point in time either. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Carnival's plan for these menus are. What they offer may end up varying by ship, just because some ships are smaller and don't have the same number of lines. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens. If you've cruised on a Carnival ship recently, let me know in the comments if your ship had the new buffet menus yet. Or if not, let me know what your favorite buffet menu is. I'd like to hear your feedback and what you like to eat in the morning, because I'm always open to trying new things when I'm on the ship. Each morning, Carnival had a continental breakfast section of the buffet, and this is typically where you can find sliced fruit as well as some pastries. The variety of pastries did vary a little bit by day, but I didn't see anything new from Carnival in terms of a new offering of a pastry. The options that they cycled through or had available every day were the same type of pastries that they've always had. Same with the fruit. It was pretty much the same standard fruit selection that I've seen on Carnival ships across the fleet in recent years. Although Carnival has breakfast buffet times, which you can find in the Carnival Hub app or the Fun Times daily activity newsletter, just know that after a certain amount of time, Carnival, especially on port days, will start closing down some lines. They'll typically keep at least one option open for late risers. On my Carnival Breeze cruise recently, they would typically close the Latin breakfast first, and then the family menu was open a little bit longer. But then by the time it was getting close to the end of the breakfast hours, there was typically only one line open. So just know if you're eating later, not all the options may be available for you. I personally enjoyed these new breakfast buffet menus and made sure to sample some of the items that I haven't seen on other cruises. I had the Cuban ham croquetas. I probably just mispronounced that, and I thought it was pretty good. It was a little greasy, but good. Also, the hash browns were in kind of a weird, like triangulish, squarish shape on this cruise, and they were really good too. Thank you so much for watching. It's going to be really interesting to see what Carnival plans to do with these breakfast buffet menus, whether they end up rolling all of them out to all the ships or roll out some of them to some of the ships. We're just going to have to wait and see. If you haven't already subscribed to Raiji's Cruise Guide on YouTube, Please subscribe. It would be fun to have you along for this cruise YouTube journey where I share all sorts of cruise videos, food information, ship tours, whatever I can capture from the ship or think is interesting to share with you. This is what I use this channel for. And to those who have already subscribed, thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot. Have a great next cruise and see you soon.